Thanks, David.
Nice to meet you. Have a good afternoon.
I will, thank you. This is David Bayliss, the ferry driver, who I'll be telling you about once we get off the boat and the engine sound is quieter. Thank you again.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye. So now that we are off the boat, I can start to tell you about it because the engine sound was pretty loud on there and I don't think any of you would have been able to have heard what I was saying. But I'm now at Teignmouth, just arrived from Shaldon, on what is the oldest passenger ferry boat, or one of the oldest one in record in England. Here it is, looking very picturesque on a really beautiful sunny clear day. So as I said, this is England's oldest passenger ferry, and it's a central part of the life for the River Tyne. And its origins can be traced back to the 1296 exactly, although its suspected origins are actually much older than that, but just not in record. As you can see, the boat is painted black and white. Those were intended to be gun ports, which were painted on during the Napoleonic Wars as a way to make the boats look more fearsome. And they've just decided not to change them because of how picturesque they are, I guess. The ferry has 4 different drivers. Today on board driving is David Bayliss, and he says that this has been one of the busiest last weekend was one of the busiest May bank holidays that he can remember, and he's been driving the boat for 12 years, he said. I asked him why he thought it was so busy. Obviously the good weather is an obvious answer, but he also reckons that now with COVID relaxations, meaning that people can travel between counties and whatnot, everybody's just looking for something to do and a way to have fun. And it definitely seems that way on the entire beach. When you look around, there's a dog swimming over there, there's people on paddle boards, there's been some kids jumping in from over here. I think everybody's just been itching to make the most of the good weather. From the people I've spoken to today, I've spoken to about several families. Most are from Devon, so I imagine that this weekend saw crowds draw in from multiple places, and now it's sort of people that live locally who are trying to make the most of the good weather. And yeah, I can understand why it's such a beautiful day over here. So as I was saying, the ferry passenger boat has been going since the 1200s and is likely to be much older, just not in records. The black and white paint on it was intended to mimic gun ports for the Napoleonic Wars as a way to make the boat look more fearsome and intimidating to any potential enemies. And the man that owns the boat now, I've got his name written down, I can't find it, but the people that own the boat now, they've decided to keep it like that because they think it looks good, and you can see why. It's really adds to the aesthetic of the area. It's obviously quite old and very picturesque. If anybody's got any questions about the ferry, I can do my best to answer them. If not, I will just be walking down the beach, and you are welcome to join me for a walk down the beach to see locals now out and making the most of the good weather. So before apparently the bridge, the Teignmouth Bridge over there, which you can see in the horizon, wasn't built until 1827. So considering that ferry was going from 1296. That's quite a long period that ferry was filling in a huge service for, so that people could get from one side to the other. Otherwise it would be a huge round trip off over the horizon over there. Apparently the ferry before the bridge was built was saving people about 14 miles worth of travelling. David, the ferry driver, was saying how all takeouts and cafes and restaurants that are local to the area have said they can't remember a Maybank holiday being this busy. Obviously the bank holiday is now over, but the crowds are very much still here. Although, as I said before, I've spoken to quite a few families today, and most people say that they are from Devon and just out and enjoying the sun. What a beautiful day in boat, says Hanadi. Yes, I completely agree with you. It's really, really incredible here. The ferry is only about a 30-second journey. I was really surprised that it was so short. And I wonder if it would be possible to walk between Teignmouth and Shaldon when the tide was low. I reckon this is pretty low tide at the moment though. And yeah, I'd be keen to know if the route was ever walkable. It's obviously a really short trip, but if the ferry wasn't there, you'd be going out of town and onto that bridge across the two there. So you can see that it is saving people who are on foot quite a lot of travel time. Thank you for pronouncing my name right. Thank you. You're welcome. Christine says that this looks refreshing, and the water with the sunshine, yes, lovely. It is indeed. It's really lovely here. The water is bright blue. And yeah, lots of people making use of it. Lots of crowds, but people are very spread out. And for a day like this, I imagine it's actually not as busy as it might be on a weekend. You can see the ferry over in Shaldon now. I think you can at least. It's that sort of black blob to the left of the paddle boarders over on the other side. Someone's asking if I live locally. I don't know if that was for me, but I live in Teignmouth. Lovely clean beaches. It is very clean actually. I hardly see any rubbish, regardless of the fact that lots of local businesses have said this is one of the busiest this was one of the busiest Maybank holidays they've seen in years. There isn't very much rubbish. I think people are obviously being sensible and picking up after themselves, or maybe there's been a clear up effort that I'm unaware of. I'll walk to the end of the peninsula here and try and show you the ferry, and then I will be signing out unless anybody's got any more questions for me. So here we are. I'm at Teignmouth. I've done the passenger boat journey already, and I'm at the water's edge, which is looking really lovely and turquoise and amazing. And I wish I had a swimsuit. How hot is it there today? It's about 22 degrees. And there is not the ferry boat, that's a speedboat to the left. But there's a little, on the sea line to the left, there's a little queue of people getting on the boats. That's the passenger ferry boat that came out here to sea today. As I said, it is one of the oldest in the UK, or if not the oldest in the UK, and its origins can be traced back to 1296, which is a crazy date. And it would have saved people. It's not the speedboat, by the way, it's the one on the beach still over there. But that little ferry boat would have been saving people a huge journey all the way around this estuary before that bridge was built on the horizon, which wasn't built until 1827. So you can see that it's really providing a vital service, and people obviously are still hugely fond of it and choosing to take it today, just as I did earlier. And yeah, it was great. I really recommend it. Thank you everybody for watching, and please get in touch with Devon Live for any comments or queries you may have. Thank you. Bye.